If someone you love with dementia has accused you of stealing, lying, hiding things, or plotting against them, I want you to pause right now, care partner, and hear this. You are not missing something, and you are definitely not causing it. And this is far more common than anyone prepares you for. Today, I'm going to explain why dementia paranoia happens and exactly how to respond without making it worse. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. What is dementia paranoia? Paranoia in dementia often looks like you stole my purse, someone is in the house, you're trying to control me, they're talking about me. This isn't a personality flaw unless your person with dementia has always struggled in this way. It's neurological. And this distinction matters more than you might realize because when accusations start happening day after day, it can feel deeply personal. It can feel like your loved one has suddenly made you their enemy. But what's actually happening, care partners, is that the brain is misfiring in how it interprets safety, memory, and intent. They are reacting to a perceived threat, not making a character judgment about you. It's neurological. Why it happens? 3 major changes drive paranoia in dementia. Memory gaps. The brain fills in the missing pieces with confabulation, a made-up story. Impaired reasoning. They can't reality test effectively anymore. Heightened threat response. The brain is more suspicious. Things are going missing all the time, so they're constantly on high alert. Think of it like a house security system, care partners, that's become overly sensitive. It's supposed to protect the house, but now it goes off when the wind blows, when a shadow passes, or when the door gently clicks. Nothing dangerous is actually happening, but the alarm still feels very real and very loud to the person inside the house. So when something is misplaced for your person with dementia, their brain isn't thinking, I forgot where I put it. Instead, their brain thinks, their alarm system thinks, someone moved it. Let's sound the alarm. Inside their experience, this feels very, very real. Their heart rate may increase, their body may tense, their mind starts scanning for danger. So when they say someone took my purse, they really, really believe someone took their purse. It's not just testing a theory, it's their reality. What not to do? Most caregivers instinctively correct, defend themselves, provide evidence, argue logic. But correcting paranoia has the opposite of the intended effect. It can actually intensify it. Because if someone already feels unsafe, contradicting that experience actually makes it feel more of a threat. And I want to pause because this is hard. When you're being accused of stealing and lying or plotting against someone you love, your nervous system wants to defend itself. You want to say, how could you ever think that about me? I'm here to help you. That reaction is human, care partners, but dementia care often asks you to respond based on what the brain needs, not on what feels fair in the moment. Dementia caregiving is far from fair. You are giving and not getting much in return. What to do instead? Step 1, care partners, stay neutral. Lower your tone of voice, slow your body movements, no defensive energy whatsoever. Step 2, validate the emotion, not the delusional belief. You may say something like, that sounds really upsetting. I can see why that would worry you. Not, you're right, someone did steal your purse. I don't know where it is. Good luck finding it. You validate the feeling, care partners, not the belief. What you're doing in that moment is you're communicating, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here with you. I'm here to help you. And that single shift can reduce escalation faster than any explanation or evidence ever will. If this is helpful, care partners, if no one's ever prepped you for paranoia and dementia care, please like and subscribe. That small action tells YouTube that this is valuable to caregivers, and YouTube will then send this to them as well so that they can also get the help. Now let's move on to the next step. Step 3, join the search. Because this is very real to your person with dementia and they are truly in distress, care partners, instead of arguing, you can say something like, let's look together. Joining reduces opposition. You've heard me discuss the you and me framework on this channel before. When you can say things like let's, let us, you are now connecting with your person with dementia. You are collaborating with them. You're now saying let's look together. Let us, both of us, we're a team. That helps to reduce any of the opposition, the me versus you stance that they had before. A bit of a disclaimer here. One common mistake I see with care partners that they make in pretending to search and help their person with dementia is that they're doing it in frustration or with a bit of sarcasm. The words may say, let's look together, but the tone is actually saying, this is ridiculous. So remember, care partners, your person with dementia is watching your tone and body language. That part of their brain still remains reactive and dominant. So please keep that in mind as you're offering to help in the search. Step 4, reduce future triggers. Now, care partners, we're moving from reacting to preventing. Now, this is the part most care partners skip. They focus on what to say in the moment, but they don't adjust the environment that keeps triggering the paranoia in the first place. And here's what I want you to understand. Paranoia in dementia often grows when the brain is working too hard, when the brain has lost efficiency, especially in the frontal lobes and temporal systems. It has fewer cognitive resources available to organize information. So when something goes missing, when the environment feels chaotic, when there are too many visual inputs, when communication feels overwhelming, the brain fills in the gaps. And often it fills them in with a threat, a negative story. Someone is stealing from me. Someone is plotting against me. Create consistent storage spots. If reading glasses are sometimes on the counter, sometimes in the bedroom, sometimes in a purse, that inconsistency increases suspicion. I know that sounds bizarre for your healthy brain, but let's have one spot for the reading glasses. Now, small disclaimer here, care partners. If your loved one's primary issue is severe memory and coding loss, like we often see with advanced Alzheimer's disease, this may not fully prevent accusations because their memory is just simply not storing this new place for us to place the glasses. But if memory loss is secondary to executive dysfunction, like we often see with Lewy body dementia or some forms of frontotemporal dementia, then predictability can indeed significantly reduce their paranoia. Why? Because consistency helps to reduce the cognitive load, the cognitive work that their brain has to engage in. When keys always live in the same bowl, when the wallet always goes in the same drawer, when the purse always hangs on the same hook, for example, the brain doesn't have to search as hard for these items. And when the search stress decreases, suspicion decreases. You are lowering the number of missing item moments. Next, simplify the environment. Cluttered spaces increases cognitive strain. Research on dementia and environmental design consistently shows that overstimulating environments increases agitation and misinterpretation. Too many papers, too many drawers, too many bags, too many similar looking objects is going to increase that paranoia, because if there are two identical black remotes and one goes missing, that confusion can quickly become, you took it. You are hiding it from them. Simplifying the environment makes it easier for the brain to visually process what's around. So think here, partners, fewer duplicates, clear surfaces, labels on item, so remote number 1, remote number 2, for example, okay? Reduce communication overwhelm. This is where communication skills really matter when someone has paranoid beliefs. If someone is already cognitively overloaded and we respond with long explanations or corrections, we are going to increase their stress, and we know that paranoia worsens when stress increases. So watch the next video, care partners, to learn exactly what to say when your person with dementia is upset, including when they're paranoid. In brief, you want to use short sentences, a calm tone, you want to validate and then redirect in that order, and you want to be as gentle as possible. Again, go ahead and check out that video below. You need to know these skills. Finally, remember the big picture. Paranoia is rarely about the missing object, care partners. It's about a brain that feels uncertain and unsafe. When you reduce environmental unpredictability, when you reduce the cognitive strain, when you can speak to them in a way that helps to calm them, when you have those communication tools, you reduce the number of moments where the brain has to guess. And when the brain is guessing less, it accuses less. Before we close, care partners, I need to say something hard here. Even if you do everything right, paranoia may still show up, because paranoia is not a behavior problem. It's a brain change that's common with dementia. Therefore, your goal is not elimination. You can't undo their brain change, but you can help them through it. You can help to shorten the storm, helping it pass more quickly with less damage to the relationship. That's the goal. I hope today's video was helpful for you, care partners, in giving you some insight as well as new tools for your toolkit. And if you often find yourself feeling a little bit confused about when to implement what tool or what skill, then feel free to go ahead and book a call with me below to learn more about the Confident Caregiver Academy. This is exactly what I do there. I help to prepare you so that you feel confident with the skills that you're learning. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.